possible to deliver average employee experience but have great customer experience?
Oh, I think it's pretty close to impossible. And the reason I'd say that is if you think about customer experience, it's either provided by your employees, your people, or it's designed by your people. And so if you've actually got a really mediocre employee experience or they're not feeling engaged or highly motivated, how on earth are you going to create, exceptional customer service, customer experiences, or digital experiences for that matter? Yeah, I think it would be close to impossible. Yeah.
Do you take some of we've talked a lot about customer centricity, mindset, co-creation, moments that matter, etc.
Yeah.
Do you take some of that thinking and logic into the employee side?
Oh, we do actually. In fact, if I think about, so at the moment, we're in in what I'd call an evolution state as we're learning this huge transformation. As I said, we also acknowledge that that is also a people transformation, and we're also evolving our brand to really match up where we're heading for the future. And so we're actually evolving our employee experience and our culture the same as we are in many ways in what we're doing with members and for our digital transformation. So we're deploying very similar things. So back to we're doing plenty of discussions and focus groups with our team and going, what's working, what's not working, what's getting in your road, what sort of culture do you value highly here, but where do you think it needs to go, and what are the experiences that we need to evolve internally? That's the exact sort of conversations we're having with our members. So there's a lot of elements of co-creating, really listening, deep listening, and then acting upon that is both there for your employee and there for your customer. Yeah.
It's the same logic because most of it stems from this human-centered design.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Yeah.
We really empathise and we have the insights and we use that to deliberately create an experience. And, in the past, a lot of organisations were focused on results that drive engagement and things like this, but the whole experience is what has an impact on that engagement. And we're seeing organisations like yours now intentionally design that as opposed to just pick away at a few pain points.
Yeah, you're right. And not just have a really good wow joining moment and then 6 months later we've forgotten about you, or indeed get that completely wrong and you completely have engagement fall. You've really got to similarly think about an employee's journey, and so that's part of it for me, but the culture and the way that people just act and behave dominates so much in my mind. And having people aligned and know what's important the moment that you walk in, and people sniff it out, right? I don't think you can spend enough time on the cultural aspects that really helps drive employee experience as well. So we're doing a huge amount on that as well.
You're in an organisation where you're run for the benefit of members, and that probably helps with being more member-centric, and your story to engage employees is probably slightly easier than, say, if you're a garbage collection company or in industrial manufacturing or something.
Yeah.
So if you're in a more difficult environment like that, do you think there's a way that you would approach sort of engaging employees and sharing a story and sort of helping them buy into a purpose, even though it's a little trickier than your environment?
Totally. There is so much research in this space around a gentleman, I think his name is Aaron Hurst, who wrote The People Economy, and his whole book and premise was we've moved from the information economy to the purpose economy. And he did research right across the globe on what motivates people at work. Yeah. And it was basically a third. A third, it's just a job, I need the money, I need to get by. Yeah. A third is actually I get to master something and it's that career progression and I like seeing myself move forward. And a third is I want to make a difference, and that purpose element. Interestingly, it did not matter what industry you were in. Yeah. And so that's the way they think about it. Yeah. And so you could, no matter which job you've got, anyway. I think it genuinely is how deeply attached truly are you to the purpose of what you're doing, and how do you help those in your organisation realise the impact that you're having. And if you're not having a great impact, then Maybe you shouldn't exist.
That's so important and so true. There's
Yeah.
a famous story about John F. Kennedy being in the NASA building in 1968, and he said to a janitor, "Oh, hi there. What do you do here at NASA?" And he said, "Don't you know, sir? We're sending a man to the moon."
Yeah.
Fully bought in. I sometimes
Yeah.
think that the magic happens when you sort of align organizational purpose with individual purpose.
Yep. Absolutely.
That story being told to multiple people within the organization starts to set those norms
Yeah,
into
sets
how we
the
treat
tone.
people,
Yep.
how we care about them. It gives you that cultural foundation, because it's easy, isn't it, to get caught up in investment prioritization and which pain points to fix and how much to spend on innovation, etc. But often it's about the culture and the capability that enables all of that to happen.
Yeah. And to link the employee and the customer, which I think was your original question, like that is such a good example. In my mind, one of our core values is to care deeply. And yes, at the heart of it is caring deeply for our members.
That sits above.
But actually, if we're not caring deeply for each other, for our stakeholders and our key partners, then actually how can you then care deeply for your members? And if you're not feeling cared for yourself. So that's a really good example for me of where you have to get the employee experience and the living of the values and the culture so aligned with what you're then wanting to do with your customer or member experience.
Yeah.
The two have to be symbiotic.
Yeah, for sure.